Parental discretion advised.
Hey, welcome back to What a Story. Today's guest is a Niagara comic from St. Catharines with an odd name if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, Amanda Bobbitt. So, Amanda, what's new? How's it going?
Hi, DJ. Thanks for having me. Not much new. I saw you.
Obviously, growing up with the name Bobbitt, how was that?
It was weird. It happened when I was really little, so people have been making dick jokes at me all my life, which is uncomfortable now that you think about it.
What would you say is your biggest motivation of why you got into comedy?
I mean, it's the Bobbitt thing.
You just had to make a joke of it. You just had to make a joke.
I had to be the one to talk about it. It was my turn.
It was just given to you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Telling stories about weird things that have happened to me in my life, and I've always liked stand-up, so I just thought I'd want to do it.
All right, so Amanda, you have a story. What's your story?
I do. I mean, the obvious story is the Bobbitt thing, but I'm not going to talk about that. I want to tell you about the very first time I visited the city of Ottawa, our nation's capital. So I was 8 years old, and it was in about 1992 or 93. I'm from a really small town in Quebec. Ottawa's about 12 hours away from there. I didn't travel much, so Ottawa was the first big city I'd ever been to, writing. The highlight of the trip was going to the mall near his house, which is Billings Bridge Shopping Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been to Ottawa a bunch since then, and I realized that there's cooler things to do in Ottawa, and there's better malls. But that's the one we went to. And, one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid at malls was to go to the pet store. They don't really have those anymore, but there used to be pet stores in malls where you could just, on a whim, buy a puppy, which isn't great, but that's what they were there. So we go to this pet store. I probably drag my mom to the pet store, and while we're there, I put a quarter in a gumball machine, and I get the gold foil ball, which means I've won a prize, which is the goldfish. I win a goldfish, so I was very excited about this. We didn't pick up the goldfish that day, obviously, because we weren't home. We were 12 hours from home. I don't know what we were going to do. But we did go back the next day, ready to get my goldfish. We got there first thing in the morning. We knew exactly where the pet store was. We headed there in the mall. And just a few minutes after getting there, a security guard is starting to tell everyone to leave the mall, starting to evacuate the mall. And there's all those chaos is happening around us. Again, I'm from a small town, so this is probably the biggest crowd I've ever been into, and it just felt like waves of people. Truthfully, it was probably 10 o'clock on a Sunday, and it wasn't that many people. But it just felt like chaos for me. So they're evacuating the mall, and I hear someone around us say that it's a bomb threat. So suddenly this is very exciting for 8-year-old me. And one thing I remember in the crowd is someone kind of going upstream from the crowd. And I remember thinking she shouldn't be doing that. She shouldn't be going back into the bomb threat. But really, she was probably just going back to, lock up her store. Safety first, but you have to lock your store. So as we get outside, and we just kind of left the mall. I never got my goldfish that day. We just abandoned the idea of me getting a goldfish. And I'm not sure that the goldfish honestly would have survived the drive home. I used to get sick in the car. I'm not sure if me holding a goldfish bowl, sloshing around in water, with all the stuff that a goldfish needs, like the fluorescent pink rocks and the little treasure chest. I'm not sure that would have survived the really, really long drive home. But yeah, we just didn't get a goldfish. I also never really found out if it was really a bomb threat that day or if that was just something someone said. But it made for a really interesting story when I got back to school a few days later. Wow, I was in a bomb threat in a big city. I assume that, this is the thing that happens in big cities all the time. This is just completely normal for them. But, I don't think it is. And yeah, I can't actually say if it was really a bomb threat or not, but to me, it was a bomb threat and it was scary and exciting to 8-year-old me. So yeah, that was my very first trip.
That's all that matters. It was real to you.
Yes.
And you didn't. Can you still collect your goldfish?
That pet store is probably no longer there. The mall is, but I don't. Just like pet stores aren't in malls anymore. And that was my only chance. It was probably worth it, honestly. Goldfish did not cost a lot of money.
Well, thank you for sharing that story of a bomb threat that was only real to you. But again, it could have been. You never know. Safe than sorry. And sorry you didn't get a goldfish. But I think you got over it. You have a dog now.
I do have a dog now instead. That is more fun.
Yes. You can't play fetch with the goldfish. All right. Well, Bobbitt, if anybody wants, or Amanda, if anybody wants to stalk you on the internet, what's your socials?
The best place would be Instagram. My handle is Amanda Bobbitt84, all one word.
Okay.
I post some new show, lists of shows and things like that.
Oh, okay, cool. What are your plans or future thoughts about comedy?
Future thoughts? It feels like the new year, kind of getting into some new things. So I'm going to try to book some shows coming up in the future. And yeah, I don't have any to promote at the moment, but yeah.
Great. I will obviously see you around the scene, probably tomorrow. And Amanda, thank you for sharing your story, and I will talk to you later.
Thank you.
I didn't have to make my life worse by telling them my middle name, which is Lacey. That's on me. That's on me. We moved to Ontario just when the Lorena Bobbitt story was like fresh in everybody's mind. Yeah, so the teasing for that got so bad that eventually I'm telling them like, hey kids, my name's actually Lacey Underwear. Can we talk about that, guys? Please, anything else.